Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the YuktMind's initiative of 10 minutes and newspaper done. Today is 19th May and we are ready with the gist of today's newspaper. We have selected 8 news for today. Operation Dhwast, Law on Jallikattu, West Bengal's ban on the Kerala story, lumpy skin disease which we covered on 11th May as well, RBI regulation on green deposits, elections and airwaves, EU norms on coffee leather, and the world famous Kohinoor diamond which we have been hearing about since we were children. You can download the PDF of above articles from our Telegram channel or website. First news, Operation Dhwast. The National Investigation Agency has arrested 3 persons in connection with the raids conducted on 18th May 2023 as part of a nationwide drive codenamed Operation Dhwast in terrorist gangster drug smugglers network cases. The National Investigation Agency is the primary anti-terror investigation task force of India. Now we know that NIA was formed in the wake of 26/11 Mumbai terror attack case under the NI Act of 2008. NIA is mandated to investigate offences affecting sovereignty, security and integrity of India. But the point to be noted is that agency has been given powers to deal with the investigation of terror crimes across states without permission from the states under written proclamation from the Ministry of Home Affairs. If we remember, Chhattisgarh government raised this as an issue of federalism under Article 131. 2019 amendment has further widened its powers. You can read about the amendment in the PDF provided in the Telegram. Second news, a constitution bench of Supreme Court upheld the validity of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Tamil Nadu Amendment Act of 2017 and Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Rules of 2017. The court also found similar laws passed by Karnataka and Maharashtra allowing bullock cart races and buffalo racing Kambala valid. The Supreme Court termed Jallikattu, a type of bovine sport existing in Tamil Nadu for at least a century, and did not interfere with the state legislature's finding that the bull taming event is part of the cultural heritage and tradition of the people. It is protected under Article 29, Clause 1 of the Constitution. Now, we should know that Jallikattu is considered a traditional way for the peasant community to preserve their pure breed of native bulls. It is popular in Madurai, Tiruchirappalli, Theni, Pudukkottai and Dindigul districts and is celebrated in the second week of January during the Tamil harvest festival Pongal. Third news, the Supreme Court set aside the ban imposed by the West Bengal government on the screening of the Kerala story and recorded the producer's submission to clarify in a disclaimer that the film is a fictionalized account of events with no authentic data to back the suggestion that 32,000 women were converted to Islam in Kerala. The court said the statewide ban on the film in the West Bengal suffered from overbreadth. Fourth news is about lumpy skin diseases in cattle. About 10,000 cases reported in country in May, 128 cattle deaths in Uttarakhand alone. According to Union Ministry of Animal Husbandry, severity of infection has been curbed by vaccinations and cattle developing herd immunity. About 9 crore cattle have been vaccinated so far and the recovery rate is above 94%. LSD is caused by infection with the virus in cattle or water buffalo. It is primarily spread between animals through the bite of vectors such as mosquitoes and flies. This disease becomes serious because India has the largest cattle inventory in the world. In 2023, followed by Brazil and China, we are also the largest producer of milk, about 23% of total world supply. Fifth news, the RBI came up with a regulatory framework for banks to accept green deposits from customers. Under the new framework, banks that accept green deposits will have to disclose more information on how they invest these deposits. Now, what are green deposits? In such deposits, banks promise to earmark the money that they receive as green deposits towards environment friendly projects. For example, a bank may promise that green deposits will be used towards financing of renewable energy projects. They will also avoid using green deposits for projects that are considered harmful to the climate. A green deposit is just one product in a wide array of other financial products such as green bonds, green shares, which will help investors to participate in environmentally sustainable projects. Now, what does the RBI's regulatory framework say? Firstly, banks will have to come up with a set of rules or policies approved by their respective boards that needs to be followed while investing green deposits from customers. These rules need to be made public on the bank's website, and banks will also have to disclose regular information like green deposit received, how were this allocated towards projects, and the impact of them. Then a third party will have to verify the claims made by banks regarding the projects in which the banks invest their green deposits, as well as the sustainability credentials of these business projects. The RBI has come up with a list of sectors that can be classified as sustainable and eligible to receive green deposits like renewable energy, waste management, clean transportation, energy efficiency, and afforestation. Banks will be barred from investing green deposits in business projects involving fossil fuels, nuclear power, tobacco, gambling, palm oil, and hydropower generation. Greenwashing. These new rules are aimed at preventing the greenwashing, which refers to making misleading claims about the positive environmental impact of an activity. For example, a bank could also invest in projects that are not environment friendly because such projects offer higher returns under the guise of green investing. Now, how will these green deposits help depositors and the environment? It will provide investors actual options for individual initiative for investing in environment friendly projects. It will also help in providing easy access to finance for green projects, as financing has been the most contentious issue for climate change adaptation in all climate conferences. It also increases the awareness of climate change and sustainability, making green investing mainstream finance. Now, what are the challenges? In a complex world where any action involves second order effects that are difficult to see, it can be extremely hard to know if a project is really environmentally sustainable. Sixth news, elections and the airwaves. In the recently concluded Karnataka Assembly elections, political parties were provided free airtime on public broadcasters like All India Radio, Akashvani, and Doordarshan. The allotment was available to six recognized national parties with a base time of 45 minutes and additional slots based on the performance in previous polls. What is the rationale of this scheme? The facility to provide free airtime for political parties during elections was given statutory basis through the 2003 amendment to the Representation of People Act 1951. The Supreme Court, in its famed judgment, the Secretary Ministry of Information and Broadcasting case 1995, held that airwaves are public property and its use should serve the greater public good. Elections being the lifeblood of a democracy, the misuse or abuse of airwaves to gain unfair electoral advantage is a key regulatory apprehension of governments around the world. Time vouchers are distributed by a lottery system by the Election Commission in a transparent process to obviate any preferential treatment in getting prime time slots. The guidelines by the Election Commission of India requires that a maximum of two panel discussions are also aired by Akashvani and Doordarshan. These discussions provide an excellent platform for parties, both big and small, to debate, criticize each other's policies, manifestos, and also promote an informed citizenry. Now, what are the challenges? The fact that a scheme is available to national and recognized state parties may attract arguments like it is not equitable. The Election Commission of India is constrained by the considerations of the practicality and the fact that airwaves are not an infinite source. The Apex Committee comprises officials from Akashvani and Doordarshan and are expected to sit in review of their own decision in case of conflict with a political party. Now, this arises conflict of interest with the ruling party. There are few solutions like extending the provision to cover private broadcasters akin to the fairness doctrine of the United States. A designated slot may be mandated for private channels to air content equitably and provide a platform for smaller parties and candidates. This is very important to bring new people into politics and evolution of Indian democracy. The political broadcast may be clearly differentiated from regular news broadcast and programs. Seventh news is about EU norms. The European Union's approval this week of new deforestation regulations poses a threat to Indian exports of items like coffee, leather, paper, and wooden furniture, even as the government grapples with the implications of the EU's carbon border tax. The new EU regulations will affect imports from produce grown on land where deforestation has taken place after December 2020 and will kick in for larger companies from December 2024 with smaller business to comply by June 2025. Four levels of penalties have been planned for any violation of this norm, which include monetary fines up to 4% of a firm's annual turnover in the EU. As per a research note by Global Trade Research Initiative, the two norms are expected to impact almost $10 billion of Indian exports to Europe based on 2022 data. Earlier, EU had posed qualitative restrictions like child labor on Indian exports, which also affected carpet industry the most. Eighth news is about bringing back the Kohinoor diamond. Now, nothing prevents India from seeking the return of the Kohinoor, a diamond which left Indian shores in the early 1850s and is currently embedded in the crown of the British monarch. A parliamentary standing committee deliberating on heritage theft has noted in its report. The case of Kohinoor is contentious since it was surrendered by Maharaja Dalip Singh as part of 1849 peace treaty with the Britishers. Thank you for watching. Let us know your feedbacks in the comment. Keep visiting our website, Telegram, Instagram, and Twitter.